Today I want to talk a little bit about my career trajectory from where I've been to where I am. Talk a little bit about why I decided to come out and record some stuff in some really awful weather. Let's get into it. But first of all, I want to talk about masks for a second. And not in the typical sense that people tend to talk about masks these days as if it's like a political issue. But I'm in northern Michigan. It's like 25 degrees out right now. And my face is super warm. Like, I brought a scarf that my wonderful girlfriend made. But I kind of want to talk about it in the sense that, like, my face is warm. You know? It's keeping my face completely warm and dry. And that is as far as I got before the blizzard got too intense and my camera started getting wet. So let's try this again. I want to take a look at my career trajectory because it has been a long 10 years to get to where I am. About 10 years ago, almost to the month, probably not to the day, but about 10 years ago, a big change in my life happened, and I decided ultimately that making videos, whether it was films or documentaries or skits or whatever, or acting, was the career path for me. I am not a professional in any way when it comes to videography, cinematography, or acting. I am a working cinematographer, but I kind of wanted to take this opportunity to like point out some bullet points and kind of like highlight some of the stuff that got me here, as well as talk about a couple of key things that I've learned along the way. So let's head over to the desk and let's talk about it. We're at the desk. Look at that. This is the first time that I've ever set up a lighting setup, and I'm actually pretty excited about it. I've got some really cheap DIY lights that I'll probably maybe feature in another video and just kind of show you how to set up a DIY setup when you're on a budget. But that's not the point of today. Today is to kind of look back on some of the stuff that I've shot and some of the stuff that's got me to where I am today. And that all starts with the moment. I kind of refer to this as the moment that I decided I wanted to be a filmmaker. I was a part of the go-to team in my high school, which was basically the group of people who put themselves out there for, like, if you're being bullied, or if you just need somebody to talk to, or you need a friend, or the school needed some fun activities to like include more people in them, so, you know, for some sort of inclusivity aspect. I was a part of that team, and we were going to put on an event called the Super Awesome Fun Night, which was an event extracurricular after school. There was going to be basketball and volleyball and video games and movies and stuff just for everybody in school to have a good time together, and it didn't have to be tied down to any sports or anything like that. It was just a way for everyone to meet up. I was a sophomore, and I decided that I really wanted this thing to go well, and I had a little bloggy camera. I was a vlogger at the time. I think that's maybe still peak YouTube. I'm not 100% sure, but at the time there was like Charles Trippy and Shay Carl and people along those lines who vlogged frequently. And I made a little video for the event, which I'll show you a little part of right now.
You got the goods?
You got the money?
1, 2, 3.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
The effects are awesome.
Oh my God.
So it goes without saying that that was basically the worst, but at the time it was the first real creation that I had put together that was like narrative. And man, the experience alone of making that was a lot of fun because I got to do it with my friends in school and a bunch of people who were like like-minded individuals, and it was just, I don't know, it was a good time. But the moment for me was when they aired that in front of the whole school. We had those little monitors, those little television screens in the corner of the room, in every room in high school, where they would do the daily announcements or whatever, and this video played in front of everybody in the whole high school. And I remember a bunch of people in my class laughing in a good way and like getting psyched about this event. And I remember there was this one particular teacher, and I'm not gonna say his name, but there was this one particular teacher, I was in his class, in, I believe it was first hour, which is when they aired it. And this teacher, as far as I knew, was not a big fan of me, and I wasn't a big fan of him. But he was pumped about it. He looked into the crowd, he looked into the class and was like, man, whoever made that was really creative. That was one of the more creative videos I've seen come through this school. And I knew at that moment, because the teacher who I didn't like said it was cool, that was cool. And it just rocketed me into a creative streak. From that point on, that was the future for me. I started making videos with my buddy Mark from Mark's Brain Studios. We collaborated and created Floating W Productions. We did comedy skits, we did dramatic films, we did a Joker short, we did endless amounts of videos. And it just continued to push that passion forward. And I mean, 10 years later, I wouldn't consider myself a professional, but I am now a working cinematographer. I have yet to make a feature film. I haven't done a ton of short film stuff. I need to stop selling myself down the river because this is supposed to be inspiring and cool. But I'm doing it now, and I've been doing it for a decade. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check. 1, 2.